shame. I'm trembling with fear, mortified at what I'd just done. Thank God I got myself out of the house, into the yard, and away from him. Thank God I willed my foot from kicking my 7-year-old son a second time. God should never have made me a parent. I knew I needed help. So I got him a counselor, I hired myself a healer, and I dove deep into the laws of spirituality. So I would never do that again. And I didn't. I'm 9 years old. My friends and I are playing in the backyard, sneaking, being quiet, and I see my daddy on the porch looking calm, relaxed, and peaceful. And this is a really great sign because my brother and I have to be super quiet during tax time or else. And so feeling excited that maybe we get to play in the backyard again, I say, Daddy, are you done with taxes? The next thing I know, he's grabbing me into the corner and hitting me in front of my friends. Don't ever ask that again. I'm blindsided. My heart in innocence is shattered, and not for the first time. Dad was a leader of engineering executives at work and a commanding dictator at home. It was his way or the highway. My opinions, my desires, my feelings were immediately corrected, whether I liked it or not. Talk to me when you're not crying. You don't want this. You want that. You're too old to be acting this way. I wanted his love. I wanted his acceptance. So I never questioned his dictatorship. I set myself aside and I followed his rules to perfection. Is this what love is? Is this what good parenting is? That's what I believed. I see my children playing video games in the living room. Waves of anger and frustration mixed with fear for their future are consuming me. They're not doing their homework, let alone the extra credit. I blast them at the top of my lungs until I finally say, "You don't get Christmas this year." But I never follow through. I always made sure they got lots of presents. I love them, and I had to make up for my horrible parenting behaviors. The years go by, my children grow up and leave. We rarely talk. I feel ashamed and hurt. I worked 3 jobs. I put romance on hold. I got them a house, experiences, and opportunities so they can grow into fine young men. But they seem to prefer their absent father more than me. My best friend and lover is hugging me and telling me, "Grace, we can't break up, I love you." My brain's confused. How can this be? He's seen me lose control and yell at my kids. He's seen me make stupid mistakes, fall apart, and fail. He knows how selfish and horrible I can be. I don't deserve love. How could he love me? Nope, I say, we're breaking up. He hugs me even tighter. And as he hugs me tighter, I feel this tiny bit of warmth, of love, of acceptance in the bottom of my right lower lung. And even though it's super tiny, it's huge in contrast to my normal, self-sufficient, independent inner being. And each time he says, "Grace, I love you. I want to spend my life with you. I'm happy with you." This feeling of warmth grows, expands, and softens me. I've never felt this before. Was he really not punishing me for my horrible behaviors? Was he really loving me anyway? This is new and surprising information. I let hope arise. Maybe I could open my heart, trust love, and be kinder, gentler, and happier. I knew I needed more help, so I entered energy healing and life mastery school. Didn't go so well at first. The assignment was to hug my healing school classmate for 2 minutes. I'm squirming. I hate this. And then my teacher calls out, allow your hearts to open and let unconditional love flow between you. I'm laughing now, but I wasn't then. Everyone around me, their hearts were lit up. They were really digging it, but not me. My heart was cold, closed, and empty. Deeply ashamed, I fell backward into the familiar abyss of dark, alone, and so very wrong. Until the day my teacher placed crystal bowls that activated things within my heart and within my body. I saw visions of a bright, happy future. I laughed out loud, and electricity was running through every cell in my body. I felt magical, expansive, alive. Sound healing seemed to be that missing piece that gelled all my decades of deep spiritual work and healing. And then things started to get a little bit weird. Undeniable divine energies of love and light pinned my heart to the bed, where I would lay in bliss for hours. And I got this awareness that I'm here to do something big, and I'm not the only one. And I got this knowing, a deep knowing, that my spiritual purpose was way more important than my life. So I continued the work, and I set the intention to break free. And then it happened. During a forgiveness meditation, my heart expanded into a great fire that made my body pulse and sweat with intense heat. Waves of understanding flew into my awareness or descended into my awareness. And then my little girl came out of her dark hiding space and started to speak. And she says, Mommy, Daddy, I know you're teaching me how to survive and be successful, but I can only see myself as a bad girl who doesn't deserve love, only punishment. I can't let you control me anymore. I'm saying and doing mean things that I don't want to. Sobbed for the loss of understanding we never shared. I sobbed for the loss of love we never got to feel. My heart ached and shook until there was quiet. Then I began to see that my little girl really didn't have the personal power or the permission to stand and advocate for herself, and she had to become what she hated because she didn't know any other way. I whispered to her, I've got you, I see you, you're safe. I love you anyway. The fire in my heart expanded and melted her rage, her shame, and her blame, and I watched it as sadness, loss, faded away. I realized I wasn't a mean, nasty, and hurtful person. I was an unhealed, unconscious parent raising my children the same way I had been raised, and my parents had been doing the same thing. And with this understanding came the compassion I needed to forgive them. Eventually, I came to this place where I could forgive myself for being the angry, judgmental, commanding dictator who traumatized my own children. And I let myself love myself anyway. I began to soften. I began to trust myself, and I became empowered to up-level my business and my lifestyle. But the biggest blessing was the relationship between both of my sons became closer, more loving and trustworthy, and as a direct result, they too became happier and more empowered in their lives. Now I teach strong, independent women how to open their hearts, trust love, heal toxic relationships, and step into their next level, not even that, step into their highest level of authenticity and personal power. It all begins by finding the love that's within your heart and growing it. Oh, tending to it like a fire, watching it grow, cultivating it so it spills over and you can share, intending to make love more important than your fear, intending to love anyway. But how do you love that which is hurt or betrayed you? Seems impossible, seems ridiculous, but it works. I've seen it thousands of times, and here's why. Shame, blame, anger, guilt, resentment, they trap you from authentically living your soul's purpose. But once you clear that all away and let it go, release it, you become free to step into your highest levels of authenticity and personal power. And once you taste that power, once you feel that, once you know what it's like, you don't want to give it up. And you become willing to understand, willing to have compassion, to forgive, to let go, and move on by loving anyway. Oh, so how do you do all that? So how do you do all that? Well, you do that by cultivating the love that's already in your heart. And at the same time, you find that that same place is where you go to be the calm within the storm. So let's see if, as a group, we can drop into our hearts and shift the energy in the room. Would you like to try that? Yes. Okay, sweet. So go ahead and how do we start? We're going to put both feet on the floor. Put your shoulders over your hips, head over your shoulders. One hand over your heart, other hand over your belly. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in, hold your breath, and drop into your heart space and look for your heartbeat. Feel it, sense it, and know that not all of you will feel that right now, and that's okay. Go ahead and exhale. Inhale, hold your breath, look for your heartbeat. Most of us have been wired to be brain dominant and trust our logic more than our hearts or our guts. That was me when I entered energy healing school. Go ahead and exhale. Inhale, hold your breath. And this time I want you to bring to mind some of the most favorite, most fun times of your life when you were happy, joyous, fulfilled. And let the warmth of those memories expand your heart. Go ahead and exhale. Inhale again, hold your breath. And imagine, what were you seeing? What were you feeling? What did it smell like? What delighted you during those times? And allow your heart to expand even more. Go ahead and exhale. Inhale, hold your breath. And notice how these feelings move with the beat of your heart to every cell in your body and the spaces in between. This feeling is your center. This feeling is your calm. This feeling is your inner light. Go ahead and exhale. Open your eyes and tune in with your body and raise your hand if you notice something different in your body or in the room. 1, 2, 3, somebody, maybe? Okay, sweet, awesome. It's a pretty powerful place when you train it, when you work it. And the next thing that we need to do is we take this inner light that you just developed, that you just started to cultivate, and we take it out into the world in the simplest, easiest, most fun, practical way to do that is to use the word namaste. So namaste, for those of you who don't know, means the light in me, salutes, honors, validates the light in you. And when you remember that the light in you is the light of your soul, which you just activated, even if you didn't feel it, it's still on its way to be activated. And the light in them is the light of their soul that they may or may not know that they have, but you just kind of nudged them and say, yeah, here it is. And so you can use namaste right now if you want. Go ahead and close your eyes and bring to mind a person or a situation that's you're angry with or you're frustrated with. And then tune right back in to your inner light. And then repeat silently to yourself after me. I am open and willing to make my soul's purpose more important than my fears. The light in me salutes the light in you. Go ahead and open your eyes. And just do that over and over and over again and see what happens. But this feeling, once you cultivate it, this is a foundation that you use to love yourself, heal, create, transform. It's a pretty powerful place to be. It's late Christmas morning. Presents are unwrapped. Breakfast is done. Both of my adult sons are hugging me and giving me their very best. Merry Christmas, love. And tears of joy are falling from my open, undefended heart, because now I know that both of them feel safe with me, feel loved by me, and that's the most important thing. My open, undefended heart has healed my entire family lineage line. My open, undefended heart has up-leveled my authenticity and personal power. My open, undefended heart has changed the trajectory of my future and the future of both my sons. Now I can trust and believe in my heart. Now I can be happy, kind, and loving. Now I can be free.